Aha, I forgot to enable the desktop capture, so there's no audio on that one. So that's fine, I'll delete that one later. Okay, so I'm going to start by creating a blank theme using this plugin. And let's just call it WordPress theme. Fine. Activated. Good. And if we visit the site, it's just going to be some blank data. That's fine. And then this is my theme.json. There's the schema. And hey, Darren. How you doing, my friend? There, I'm just fiddling with block themes. So I'm just fiddling with what theme.json does and how it works and learning all about it. Okay. This is not going to be super exciting, I must warn you. I'm just turning things on and off for a meetup session that I'm hosting on Thursday. Which is somewhere here. This one. So this stream is preparation for that workshop. So that'll be the polished version of what I'm doing today. Today I'm basically just going to be turning things on and off and seeing what they do and figuring out how all this stuff works. So the first thing I'm going to do is super guinea pigs. Pretty much, yes. Pretty much. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to enable, and I believe that if you enable WP debug, then it doesn't cache your changes. So I've always got that on, so we'll see if that does make sense. I'm going to go into the editor and I'm going to edit some things and see what changes. So I'll start with the layout. I'm going to change this to a random value of like 480 or something and make wide size 6 foot. No, it's, yeah, 640 by 480. Good old school. What was that? 4x3 back in the day. And I just want to see what that does. So if I refresh this, do I have my theme enabled? I don't think I do. I do. Okay, it is active. Excellent. So that's a blank theme that I've created. It has no content, no templates. Just, in fact, let's have a look what it does have. It has one template. It has two template parts, header and footer. It has some theme.json and a style sheet, which contains nothing. The index does have some content in it. The header has some content. The footer has some content. So I believe, okay, well, there I can already see that that's changed. So the content size has changed. So if I make this, what is that, 960? I make that 960 and let's make wide size. Wait, hang on. Let's make that content size 640. Wide size 960. Finish that. Yeah, that is slightly wider. Okay, so that's affecting that. And then I believe the wide size affects elements that can be set to a wide alignment. This doesn't do that. Paragraph doesn't. I think if I do an image, it does. No, this is an image, isn't it? Featured image, no. Okay, so let's add an image above this. Move that above. I think I might have some images in my media library. I do. And now, I believe there are certain elements that support full width alignment. So I can't think of any right now. Remove that image. Maybe the cover block does. So let's just go with this one. Where's that gone? Oh, I got a bunch of cover blocks at the bottom here. Okay. Let's remove these. I'll go down to remove. Fun times. Okay, well, let's move this one up. And I should be able to remove it. So there we go. And then let's move this one above there. Okay. That didn't do what I wanted. Let's try this again. Yeah, let's have a look at this one here. No. Yeah, I'm just going to remove this whole query block. Really block. Remove the header. No, I don't want to remove the header. Ugh. What happens when a programmer fiddles with things that they shouldn't be fiddling with? Let's try that again. Okay. I want to add a cover block. Okay, and I want to move it up. There. Okay, there we go. And I want to, you can tell I've never used the cover block, can't you? Actually, let's not do this. Let's get something from the media library. Let's get that one. Okay, now that's alignment. Oh, great, the cover block doesn't even. Which blocks do? Quote, maybe? No, that's not in the cover block. There. Quote doesn't either. I need a block that supports full width. I was pretty sure an image did. It might be because I'm on the index page. So let's go and create a new template. To the page template. Let's just add an image here. Image block doesn't either. Okay, I'm going to do some digging. Okay, so that's custom properties. Let's do a search for layout. Line-wide content. Let's go WordPress blocks that support a line wide. Oh, pretty sure I don't need to do that. Maybe I do. This is pretty old. This is from 2019. Look here. Some blocks, such as the image block, have the possibility to define wide or full alignment by adding the corresponding class name. A theme can opt in. Oh. I was pretty sure that that was included in core now. Interesting. Okay, well then let's do that. So it'll be functions of PHP. And then it's probably going to be something like hooking into a net. Yeah. I have to set up theme. I did this at some point. Okay, so after set up theme, add theme support. Okay, let's just steal this. So after set up theme, John's WordPress theme setup. That was interesting. I did not realize that. And then add theme support align wide. I honestly thought that was enabled by default. Interesting. Alrighty. So let's exit out of here. Create that. Yeah, I would have created that template. So now, if I add an image, doesn't seem to have done anything. I wonder if I've done something wrong. I've definitely seen this somewhere. Can't for the life of me figure out where. I need to refresh. What would be cool is if there was a way that I could check which blocks support wide alignment. Okay, I'm going to move on from there. I'm going to come back to this. At least I know the content size, what that does. Just see if I can find anything in the documentation about wide size. Option 2. It's helpful. Sets the maximizable outline content. Okay. So I need to get that setting enabled to see it in action. So I'm going to open up my note editing app, and I'm going to make some notes. So to enable line wide. I have to dig into that one. All right, moving on. I'm actually going to move this up out of the way so I can go full screen here. Okay. All right, the spacing units that I understand. I just want to see if I can see that in action. So theoretically, if I go to the index template, I select some text, it's going to show me those options somewhere, probably in the styles interface. Maybe, maybe not. So that's pixels EM REM. So let's have a look in spacing, see what that says in the schema. So that's spacing units. Okay, so it's wherever spacing is done. Sorry, that's where I got confused. So I want to look at spacing. So let's just change that back. Maybe under layout. Yeah, there we go. So pixel, percentage EM, REM, VW, VH. Okay, so if I remove some of those, let's say I only want those. Then I refresh this. And I go back to layout. Now I should only see, yeah, there we go. Okay, so that enables or disables spacing options. Cool. Okay, that makes sense. So let's put that back. Let's put this back to what it was, just to be on the safe side. Okay, and then typography is all the fonts that are available. So this one is the system font. So let's see what that looks like. Let's see what that looks like. Go to typography. So default and system font. So default is whatever the default is, and system font is whatever specified in the system font, which in this case is whatever the system font is. So I'm guessing these are all, that's probably Apple, that's probably Apple, probably Apple, Ubuntu, haha, probably Windows. So that specifies, so that means the default font is already specified somewhere. Okay, so that's a preset. So I'm going to go, where is the default font set? Okay. That's cool. Then we've got the template parts that I understand. So theoretically, if I remove these from here, they should not appear in the editor. that was as expected. Oh, I wonder. That's probably there. Oh, that's interesting. So this probably picks them up because the files exist physically. Interesting. I want to test that. So let's just create a new file and call it excerpt for the sake of being funny. And we'll just leave it like that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create just a div with a block group in it. With no actual. Okay, that's what needs to come out. So I'm just going to go just like that. Okay, so that's there. So if I go back to the editor now. Okay, so the template parts load regardless of whether it's specified in theme.json. However, for them to be available in the block editor, if I go in there, that gives me an error, which I expect. If I go into the index and I try to add the header, it is there, but it can't preview it or do things with it. See that? And I can't choose an existing header. So it's to make it available to the header block in the editor. Okay, that's interesting. I did not know that. So now if I put that back and then I say, okay, let's leave that there. And then refresh this. And then go back to the index. So now the header is there. Now I should be able to add the I can't add the excerpt because it doesn't exist. But I can do the header. And is that the footer? That's the footer template. So if I template part, I can choose the excerpt. Okay. So all that, okay, so all that means is it doesn't work in the actual code. That doesn't work. That makes sense. Okay, let me just create, I'm going to create an excerpt template quickly, template part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that. And go to my template parts. Okay, that's going to throw an error because I've just reloaded. So let me do it again. Okay, and then I'm just going to add some text. Maybe give it some padding or something. Actually, let's remove that and let's add group. And then let's give the group some padding. And then let's add a paragraph. Right, template part. Okay. Okay. And then plus code and pop it into the yeah, that seems to be it. A bit of a stickler for indentation. I wonder PHP still automatically reformat this. No, can live with that. Okay, so that's the exit HTML now. Cool. I haven't specified it in the template parts. Great. Going to exit out of all of this. If I go to the picture template part, it's there and it exists and that works. Cool. And I should be able to add it. Not that, but as a template part. Should be able to choose. I can choose. So that works. So all of that works whether or not it's defined. However, if I specify, so let's have a look at this code here. That's how it adds it. If I add that to the index, for example, let's add it just below the header. No, let's add it below the query. There. This probably won't work because it's not registered in theme.json. Oh, it does work. Interesting. Wonder if that's stored in database somewhere. Okay. Make another note here. I know there was a ticket about this recently, but I was under the understanding that I had to have it set up here for it to work there. It doesn't look like that's the case. So that's interesting. I suppose what I could do to test this is to export this as a new theme. See if it works. But I'll worry about that some other time. Okay. So things that I want to fiddle with now is if we have a look at GitHub, WordPress, Dark Horse theme. So this is a theme that I put together with Sarah Norris for the block theme courses that Sarah Snow and I are working on. And it has some theme.json stuff that I want to investigate. So I want to take these color palettes, for example, and I want to see what that does. So if I go into my current theme, and I go to, it's probably going to be styles and colors, and it's going to be these 12 colors here probably. So there's these defaults here. Now these are being specified by WordPress. I want to see what happens when I add additional color palette. So there were 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 12 there. So if I add after appearance tools, and this is just alphabetical. So if I add that, I want to see what happens. I'm expecting it to add them to that list. Yes, so I now have 17 colors. Okay, so there we go. So that does make sense. So the theme has now added these additional 5 colors. So these colors come shipped with core, and then I can add my own custom colors, and I can edit these colors, and I can edit these colors, and then if I edit them and export them, then I'll get those changes. Okay, that's cool. So that's colors. Layout we've covered. Spacing scale. I'm interested to see what that does. So let's have a look at spacing. I'm guessing if I add spacing scale, it'll make some changes here. So let's try that. Spacing scale by units. So now refresh that. Layout. Let's see what spacing scale is in. Spacing sizes, spacing scale. Space size presets for the space size selector. Generates a custom property that per preset value. Space size selector. So where would I see that? No. It's taking forever to load for some reason. WordPress.org hasn't gone down. Oh dear. That's no good. When WordPress.org times out during a live stream. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let's refresh this. Can't really do much more now. Okay, so let's make a note about spacing scale. So that was settings, spacing scale. Settings, spacing scale. What does it do? Okay. Units, topography. Okay, so let's go back to, yeah. Okay, so font we've done. Okay, so font sizes, I want to see what that does. Drop cap, fluid, that I already know what those do. I wonder what happens if you enable drop cap. What does that do? So it looks like it's already enabled because it's being set to false here, so I'm guessing it's enabled. So where do you see that? Enable drop cap. So it defaults to true. But now does that enable it in a specific place? Page template. And let's add a group block here just to make it nice and simple. And let's give it some. Oh, there's block spacing. Ah! Now I wonder if that's because of this. Maybe not. So let's check that out. Spacing scale. I don't think it affects that. Okay, well, let's save this and refresh and see what happens. So it was a group block. Yeah, that's still there. So that wasn't that. Okay. No idea what block spacing does. Let's add an image. Doesn't seem to do anything really. I have to figure out where that comes in. Okay, so let's add some text. Just going to go with some. Let's see where the drop cap comes in. Okay, lots of notes. Let's go back. Let's add these font sizes. So let's have a look at the font sizes currently. Currently, font sizes 13, 20, 36, 42. Oh, there's drop cap. Ha! I did not see that. Kind of hidden away over here. Okay, going back a step. Okay, so if I disable that, then I disable it there, and I'm guessing that's here as well. No, it just seems to be on a block level. Okay. Okay, so that seems to be a block level thing, which makes sense. So I wonder if the sizing is a block level thing as well. Yeah, castles. Let me disable that plugin because that's why that's there. Back to that template. Oh, you can actually enable all these things. I didn't even know that. Interesting. I did not know that. Yeah, let's add a paragraph. So now everything is uppercase because I said it's on the container. That's kind of cool. Now it kind of bubbles down. All right, so let's go back to here. And I can enable. I wonder why these things are all disabled by default. If there's a way to set those things on. I feel like it would be cool to have all of those things enabled all the time. Appearance line height, letter case, letter spacing, drop cap. And add fluid to it as well. Let's see if this is working yet. Okay, that's all working again. Yay! wonder if those things are already... Those things are already true, but how do I switch them on? Yeah, it's music. That's not a cool song to work to. No worries, Darren. I'm just fiddling here. um, I feel like what's missing here is documentation. Because I don't know what half of these things do. And I don't know how to enable or disable half of these things. But once you know what it is, see if I do a search for this, for example, that takes me to this living reference. Enables root padding to be applied to the contents of full books blocks inside of a root block. So I feel like here's a whole section on settings, and it just has appearance tools. That it has border, color, but it doesn't tell you what these things do. Like there needs to be a handbook on theme.json and what it does. Version 1. Not really. Hmm. I feel like what's missing is explanations about what these things do. So for example, drop cap, enable drop cap. Now, unless I know that, for example, drop cap is an option under typography, I don't know what that means. So if I go drop cap false, then I would expect that option to disappear from the typography that I was looking at. Which it does. But what I'd like to know, for example, is how do I turn appearance on by default? So let's do a search for appearance. That's appearance tools. But I've got that enabled. So what I want to do is, for example, maybe I can't. Maybe it's not something I can do. Let's see if there's anything on the paragraph block. So So what would make my life a lot easier is if I had a list of, so this, I think it's this document? No. This one. Support. Like if I had a document with every single setting, what it does, and what that physically means in the editor, that would help a heck of a lot. I wonder if that exists somewhere.
Since that night, I realized I didn't want another lover. 'Cause we had time, but I still just didn't want it to be over. I'm in
border color. So what does that mean? What does it do?
I'm waiting you to get here. You got the address, so you know how to get here. Ooh, yeah. We both know it felt real, so just take the damn wheel. Let's make our like Shakespeare. I could've kept going forever. I'm in. I really wanna stay together. I'm in. To be honest, I just never felt like this. Never felt like this. You got me.
Interesting. Yeah, well, according to this, everybody that was watching me has disappeared, which is fine because I got bored. I'm gonna have to do more reading. Okay, I'm gonna take a break from this now and call it a day.